Gentlemen, and welcome. Oh, just finding myself here now. Welcome to the Paladins OB51 patch preview show. My name is Rene, Evan Rayner, of course. I'm joined with High Res Martini.
How you guys doing?
Garrett, High Res Holt,
Yes.
Thomas here, and of course, High Res Alyssa. It's been a while, Alyssa, since you've been on a full show with us.
It's been a while.
Welcome back.
Happy to be here.
And
Thank
it's
you.
been a while
It's been a while.
since I've been.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
We're already singing?
Yeah.
We
I
just
know.
did our intro.
Well, you know what? Actually, what's kind of interesting is that I wasn't here last time. Nick took over for me.
That
I
is
was actually.
interesting.
Oh, that is true.
I was having a very nice event, and now Nick's actually not here, which is pretty interesting as well. So there's a lot of exciting stuff to get into. We don't want to waste a lot of time. We've got some new things happening. Some new things. Get out of my shot, dude. The heck is going on here? One patch show, I'm gone, and you're already trying to take over my spot.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of great things happening for you. A lot of you are very excited. We are too, so stay tuned. We have a great cast today, and we're going to be going through it. First things first, though, we have a new match lobby coming in for the game.
Yes.
That's pretty sick.
Talk to us about this. Where did this come from?
Well, we like being able to see our characters.
That's
Me too.
true.
I like
They
that.
are pretty much the center point of our game.
Sure.
They are some of the most fantastic, badass characters of any game
That's true.
I've ever played. And they look really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you keep talking. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I like this. So, so we actually have quite a few plans in place as far as upgrading and kind of finishing out development for our UI, our different screens, for a lot of our lobby presentation. And so, yeah, this is really exciting. We actually got kind of one of our early phases. There'll be some more development as we continue on it. But with this one, it's really exciting, which means when you go into match, you're not only going to see your character and
That's
see
right.
your whole skin and see everything else, you're also going to see your teammates. So
this is
you
different.
get to kind of show off a little bit.
This was reminiscent. I come from a game called Smite, and this sounds a
played
little
that.
bit
Ooh.
similar to what they do, actually. So if you're
Yes.
not familiar with it, I don't think we've shown it on screen yet. Not sure if we have that asset available. But if you are familiar with Smite, it'll be the same thing where you load in, you see your player in 3D.
very similar, yeah.
Yes.
Show off some cool skins now. People can see
yeah.
what skins you're bringing to the
Yep.
battlefield.
You can see who's got their skin game on point.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And who doesn't.
Okay.
Who's rocking basic
Oh,
barracks
yeah.
versus,
Who's basic Barrack? I like
Yeah.
that. Garrett,
Yep.
savage today. Garrett got a lot savage before,
We're
since
just
I
getting
left.
started.
Okay, man. So first off, after that, there was a new match lobby. You'll get
Yep.
excited to see that one, and hopefully we'll have something to show you for that a little bit later. The champion skin chest, though. This is something not a lot of people are very sure about what's happening. There's a lot of chests in Paladins, okay? But we've got two new chests called the champion skin chest and the weapon chest. Garrett and Thomas, you guys need to break this down.
This is a huge deal.
First of all, this looks awesome, okay?
Yeah.
It's like good versus evil right here. Nature versus, I don't know,
So,
Yeah.
corruption.
as you guys know, up until this point in Paladins, the whole cosmetic system has been based around kind of like finding this head in a colossal chest and then buying maybe the body direct purchase
Yes.
and then acquiring the weapon or just rolling all the colossal chest. And last patch we talked about how we were going to remove the colossal chest, we were retiring it, and we wouldn't do that without giving you guys a replacement for it, obviously. So, huge deal actually. Our champion skin chest now, when you roll this, it is going to give you a single item. However, that single item is actually the entirety of your character from head to toe. You get the accessory piece, the body piece, and if you're lucky enough to roll an epic or a legendary, you're going to get a voice pack in it as well with a single roll.
Wow.
So what you're saying is, in these chests, I'm no longer going to be rolling for individual pieces, but I'm going to get these sets, like the whole skin. Let's take a look at Dread Hunter Drogos, right?
right.
If I roll Dread Hunter Drogos, I get the weapon, I get the body, I get the head, I get the voice pack.
So I'm going to stop you there.
Yes.
So there's two chests that we showed.
Yes.
There is the champion skin
Okay,
chest, and
gotcha.
then there's the weapon chest.
Okay.
Right.
So if you want a weapon, now you're not going to have to go through and roll and get all these like accessory pieces and body pieces. You're like, no, I just want to get my gun. I want to see that. So now all you have to do is roll the weapon chest. So we are taking, is basically separating it as like what my character looks like on my person, and then the weapon that I kind of huck into battle with and light
Right.
stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
That's in that chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then what my character is in the other chest. And you get the full thing here. and you get the full weapon there.
Yeah, so this is much more in line with how we actually develop the content and think about it. So if you think about our themes, you create a skin. It's like the Dread Hunter. The whole thing's designed to go together. You've got the head attachment with the accessory piece. You've got the body, and you've got the weapon, and it's designed to go together. And it has a theme. We also release emotes. We have MVPs. We have a number of other things that kind of fit in there. And now we have it where, depending on which element you want, you can go to either that champion skin chest if you're after the skin. The body, right, or the weapon chest, or the flare chest, that we've introduced before for the emotes and for the MVP. But as far as for the pieces, parts and pieces are great. I see a lot of mix and matching out there, and the
googly eyes.
Yes,
googly
eyes on everything.
Googly eyes.
So there's a lot of mix and matching that's going on, and then people really love that level of customization.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, when you're looking at it and when you want to get it, you want to buy the whole thing together. You want to roll the chest. You want to win that thing. You want to get it with that full theme, and then be able to customize later on. And that's the feedback we've been getting from the players for quite a bit. And so we've been able to finally get everything kind of in line to kind of make this transition.
Very cool.
And that champion skin chest, you will be able. So the lowest rarity threshold is rare. So you're only ever going to get a full rare skin. You can also get an epic skin. You can also get legendary Star Slayer if you are lucky enough.
Wow, so it's got all the good stuff in there. And now I'm going to be outfitted. I'm not going to be showing up to a costume party without my mask or, having just jeans on, trying to pull off a look. I'm going to get the whole look.
Yep. And kind of in celebration of this new, I guess, cosmetic premise that we're running with here, this skin chest is actually going to release with many of our previously exclusive skins active inside of it.
Ooh.
So we're talking Helios Fernando.
Ooh.
Yes.
We're talking, I guess, Victorian Maldama too, because I believe his chest is now retiring as well in this patch.
Yep.
So I'm not saying they're going to be active in that chest for forever.
Right.
But definitely is kind of a launch and a good faith thing, guys. You're gonna have access to all of the coolest stuff. I almost cursed there.
Wow! I didn't expect that, Garrett. You must be excited. Okay,
I'm a little excited.
I love it. Okay, so if you're excited, basically the rundown, the overview is that there are now weapon chests. There's a weapon chest and there is a skin chest. That skin that you will buy will be the full customizable skin. You're not just getting a headpiece or a body piece. You're gonna get the whole kit, and the weapons, if you're more interested in that and taking a look at how you feel when you're playing in game, you have a whole separate chest. You can try and join in and see what your luck is when you start to roll those. So very exciting engagements things starting out in the next patch. That's going to be a really cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. I think a lot of people are going to like that one. Moving on, though, we have actual skins here, not just old skins.
We have another change for another chest, too.
Oh, another change.
We do.
For another chest.
We do. For another one.
I'm starting to not be able to keep track.
Our first chest.
You got a lot of stuff today. So.
Okay. Talk to me. What's the other change?
Well,
this sounds bad.
So, it's
okay.
Really
this one's awesome.
So,
I'm really excited about this change.
As everyone knows, you have a lot of experience with our Radiant chest. We award it to you when you level. You get it when you level your character. It's the main source of cards. And it's always like this game of am I going to get something that I don't already own? Am I going to get our duplicate essence, etc. So we are exploring the idea of allowing you to say, hey, I just want something that I don't have yet. So in OP51, you will be able to do an option where you exchange an amount of crystals to say, hey, I want to roll a Radiant chest and get everything in it is non-duplicates, entirely unique.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So if I roll a cosmetic, it's going to be a cosmetic I don't know. If you're going for that red Ceres,
I'm going for the red Ceres, man.
If you're going for gold cards that you don't own yet, for sprays. If you want that concussion buck spray with or some of the surfing goblin on Makoa.
Okay. Yeah, I have that one though.
This might be the option for you.
So and this is really good for more experienced players that have a lot of the cards already, have a lot of the items already, and so they don't want to bother with getting duplicates and getting more essence. They just want, like you said, the red Ceres. They want the new skin. They want what they don't have already.
And so this is basically like a buff that can be applied to a Radiant chest.
You can enchant your chest.
You can enchant it, and then do we have a pricing value on this for people? How are they going to be able to get it, or? Just
I think we're still hashing it out.
okay, still hashing it out.
Check PTS. Yeah.
Okay, but it's going to be an opportunity for you to basically make sure that I am getting good stuff that I don't have no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just get a little bit more, put a little bit more crystals in there to get maybe a lot more value for you.
Yeah, if you're like me and you're trying to a completionist, right? And you want to get those last things, and you're just kind of chasing that one thing. This to me is an amazing option.
That's actually a really big deal now that I think about it, because I think I've wasted hundreds of thousands of gold and lots of crystals just hoping to get like new content. So wow, that's actually pretty cool. I'll definitely be using that for veteran players. You really put it well, Alyssa. We've got a lot more to show you today. Of course, that was talking about the chest, but the things that go in the chest, let's talk about those as well. New skins. Now, I don't know how this is going to be delivered or how they're going to get it, but I do know what it is. It's Barrack, and it's not like Barrack.
Stone cut.
It's stone
Barrack
cut.
is stone cut.
Yes.
He is a.
This is
a
big
beast.
Barrack.
Yeah. No, super cool. I mean, Thomas, you can give the breakdown of it, but I totally dig this one.
Yes. So Barrack is one of our older champions. So we're hitting a couple of them in this patch. We wanted to make sure they got some love as well. And this theme is just a strong theme. It's the dark dwarf kind of like feeling for it. He's he's got his overall color scheme going on, and definitely a different kind of attitude than our normal like jolly little dwarf of Barrack.
But
he's got like
too.
he's got that stone skin and everything.
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
he looks good.
So this is just the skin. There's no weapon that is attached to this,
No.
or is it the weapon as well?
Yeah, so this one has the skin set, which includes the accessory. It includes the body. And then he's rare, so he doesn't have a voice pack.
Okay.
But it also has a weapon. And so for this set.
Very, very cool stuff. So this
you
is
can even see some of the stone texture like coming into the weapon itself.
That's
yeah,
right.
It's very
Awesome.
eerie.
Yeah, his turret's updated as well
Oh,
to
that's
kind of
right.
match this
Yep.
theme. So yeah.
This looks like a man with a dark past. I don't know. Barrack showing a little bit of his
Things happen in the mines.
Yeah, seriously. Things
Yes.
you don't talk about happen in the mines. Well, we'll leave that to you, Barrack, and we'll move on to something that, Thomas, you've been actually
I was about to say, if
being
you're-
really shameless about. You have been shameless, Thomas.
Relentless.
I know.
and shameless.
I mean, my God.
I got to yelled at a little
If I
bit.
see
but-
another panda gif, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. If you've been on my Twitter at all, you may know what's coming next.
It's it's our favorite Volpine. He just got a map. Now he's getting the skin. It is Pip Pandemonium.
Yes. And he's just amazing.
Oh my gosh,
there's,
so
what a cutie.
there's very
cute.
little to say about this one. This is it's a champion skin set as well. So you get the accessory and you get the body. There's not a weapon with this one. It's also rare. It's just, I mean, this is just one of those things that even early on when we were talking about skins for him and talking about like, what to do, there's some pretty obvious choices, and Red Panda kind of flavored Pip was one of those.
And if it matches his personality, and in a cool way, it also really separates himself. When you see this one in game, to me, my overall experience is this really looks like a different experience of Pip. And look at the Rooster Brewster right there. That's actually a great combo.
Yeah, that is.
He's adorable.
Oh man.
So yeah.
Aw.
So cute.
Tail lovers rejoice.
Yes.
It's about as cute as it gets right there.
Oh yeah.
Pandemonium Pip coming to you in OB51, as well as Dark Dwarf, Stone Cut Barrack.
Yep.
Yes.
Very, very exciting. These are the new skins for the patch.
Yeah, and they're both direct purchase
Great.
as well. So, if you want them, go grab them.
Rock out. There it is. I love it. So, moving on, we do have a new thing here coming up. We have something called a new uncommon tier.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
And now this is interesting. There's a meme in the Paladins community of Paladins skins, right?
That's right.
I don't know if you've seen it, but
What?
it's basically different values, but basically just a little recolored, right? Now we've made a different approach to this, and I'm actually really excited about this one. Uncommon is something that's going to be coming with these champions, but instead of just a color change, what's going on?
So we talked before on the show, and there's been community questions, and I get asked a lot about it as far as our comment tier, right? Which has been the recolors that we've announced and
Right.
released so far. And they have a pretty basic rule set. It's
Right.
basically if you want the base champion and you have a favorite color,
Right.
it's a single primary color kind of change. And one of the things that we constantly get requests for, though, is like, okay, well, that's cool. I do want the red Saris, and I'll chase that down, or the
Chase
blue,
it, yeah.
Torvald, or the different things kind of going in.
Pink
but-
Torvald, Thomas.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I had to get with my things. But but what we get a lot is like, well, what about like kind of full color changes? Like what about changing the entire color scheme? What about doing that kind of premium recolor where you can play a little bit with hair color, and you can play with basically every color that's on the champion.
Maybe some gradients.
Gradients, a little bit of pattern, but for the most part, it's still the character, it's still the champion, but it's just a complete alternate option as far as the actual premium color. So
we're not going to show this yet, but you might see it later on in the patch. We'll leave it at that for now. Yep. Very, very good. Right. Let me just tell you that. We've got another cool thing that I believe Alyssa is going to be talking to us about. That is the community skin.
Yes, we're so excited to announce the community skin project. If you're from the Smite community, I'm sure you're already familiar with the community skin contest. So we're doing something very similar. So basically, we wanted to get you guys to design or to have a part in designing our new skin. So the voting starts today. You can go on paladins.com right now and vote for which champion you want to have a new skin. And then the voting will last for 1 week until next Friday. And then after that, we're going to come up with 4 sketches for the champion and show them on the next patch preview. And then you'll vote again for which of the sketches you want to see as the new skin.
Very, very cool stuff.
Choose wisely, my friends.
Yes.
Before we unleash our artists.
Now, I did realize we did miss just a small detail on the last skins. There are a couple skins already in the game that will be moving into the uncommon rarity.
That's right.
Which make a little bit of sense now that you think about it. You can start maybe seeing, okay, what does this uncommon rarity really mean? The Tyrant Drogo skin, the Beast Grok skin, and the Monarch Bomb King skin.
They're all going to take up residency in the new uncommon rarity. For sure.
So that gives you a little bit of a preview as to what type of level of skin is going to be going into that.
Yeah, it's basically skins where you get that full recolor experience, and it's a whole new color scheme to it instead of just having a primary shift.
Yep. Guys, I'm excited about this one. I almost have to stand up. This has been something coming for a while. Man. I'm sorry. And this is, it's a dear subject for me because I consider myself a master in a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I'm sorry. I do. You have to.
I was about to say, where's he going?
You have to believe in yourself. Okay, you have to believe in yourself. I've still got a lot to learn, but I consider myself a master in some things, and I think that for me, most importantly, I wanted to be able to show off my mastery in Paladins.
You do like to show off. I agree.
No, you didn't finish the. I said something after that. Okay, please. You want to show off your mastery. I mean, Alyssa, when you're out there fragging with Sky, don't you want to let people know that you're
a Sky main?
Yeah, she is. No, she's not. Alyssa, I'm sorry. That was I just threw it on her right there.
Support me, man. You threw me under the bus.
I'm sorry. I didn't know Alyssa was playing rock out here.
Whoa.
But
so what is that?
So, guys, talking for everyone in the community here, I think this is one of the most exciting things we could ever see. Mastery skins have come into the realm finally, and I got to leave it to Garrett and Thomas to break this thing down. This is epic stuff right there. Talk to me about it. How are we getting it? Yes. What is it? What's going on?
It's a long time coming, guys.
I'm in space.
We appreciate kind of the patience you guys have had, but we're super excited to finally be able to introduce this to you. It's not just skins, it's a whole new system of mastery kind of tiered rewards where we're working our old beta reward structure and giving you access to now a bunch of new content. So first off, and what's apparent is obviously this Lex skin that we're displaying, which is the higher tier quality.
That's right.
There's actually 2 tiers of skin quality. So you just saw this kind of blue cosmic iteration of the character, and there's also a darker obsidian iteration of the character too. That is a progression. You earn these as you unlock your characters. Off the top of my head, I believe it is 10 level character mastery 10 for the obsidian, and then character mastery 15 for the cosmic one. Yeah.
And this is the cosmic that we did just see on screen, correct? That was the cosmic. So that's the highest level one. Haven't yet seen the level 10 one. Not sure if we're actually going to see that, but it's awesome too.
We didn't stop there. So we also are giving you increasing amount of goals in your character mastery. Just develop your character, play it, experience it, and you can earn access to some of this content. So we also are doing MVP poses, which emotes and sprays.
Whoa!
Yes. Nope.
But it gets better.
Yes, these are so much good. So it's all about the mastery, right? Which is all about that level. It's all about like
you know I'm on that level, Thomas. You know we talk mastery. We can
I've
talk
seen
about
you stream. I don't know.
Okay, fine. Whatever, Thomas. Whatever.
It's good to have goals. But the mastery it's about having that level. It's something you earn. It's something you want to show off. And so we have these skins, right? And if you see somebody with a skin, you know that they hit a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
But with the emote, with the spray, with the MVP, we wanted to take it a little bit farther. And so with each one of those, we actually have some new technology. Programmers got together with our tech artist and working with the art team. And with that spray, with the emote, and then with the MVP, you're going to see a token or on the spray itself, and there's a number there. And that number is your mastery number, and it will update with you. So when you get to that point in your unlock, and if you get that spray, as you go on from that point on, it will always give you your most updated live number. So look, he's number 20. 20 level mastery. That's crazy.
My God. So right now, just for clarity, you are using the actual level 10 Obsidian Mastery weapons and using the Cosmic body, which you could see the hands holding that.
Our cameraman is switching it up.
So this is fantastic. You get a little bit of both, but now you could see, that's the emote right there. Shoots the coin out of the air. This is unbelievable. This hasn't happened in this game yet. So, I mean, you're talking about the new tech, Thomas. What was it just like, I think, concepting this? I want to bring up a very cool poll. We were trying to figure out what do we think is even the best version of these, because they're both so good.
It's tough. We went back and forth. We did a lot of different treatments and looked at a lot of stuff. Eventually, we kind of came to this kind of Starfield it looks dynamic material kind of change for the characters, which looks really good. We actually had like 5 different colors, and we kind of boiled that down to the 2. And it really we ended up doing a poll basically just to find out internally if the Obsidian or the Cosmic would be the higher tier, because they're both awesome, and especially when you see them on all the different champions. It's amazing.
Yep. Well, that's fantastic stuff. This is going to be available in OB51. You're asking who is going to be getting this? Is it only for Lex? Yes. I'm only getting it. That's right. It's just for me.
No. Chat,
I'm the only master here, and I am the only Lex main.
Nope.
And I'm Lex. Okay, you guys you're really just ruining my
We're
whole
hitting you with
monologue.
more than just Lex, guys.
Okay, guys, it's not just Lex. It's going to be Drogos, Maeve, Makoa, Tyra, and Victor to be getting their mastery sweeps of skins
in this patch. This patch. And what we'll be doing is we'll be rolling out more of the champions until we get to everybody's main, in the upcoming patches.
Very nice.
Yep.
So that's something to really look forward to, and I'm excited that I got the first treatment. I love it. Thank you for choosing Lex.
Well, we missed you.
Yeah, I know. I was gone. You're like, we have to do it. Got to get him back somehow. Okay, so it's now time for one of my favorite times here. We do not have Pretty Hair. He is out doing a great event in New York. Wish him the best. But right now I have a high-res martini with me, Garrett.
Yes, you do.
Do you have a different name for doing these balance and bugs, or
no, sir? I'm just Garrett.
You're just Garrett.
Yep.
Okay, that's exciting. Thank you for going with me on that joke there.
No problem.
Let's talk about the first number 1, Androxus. He's getting some changes. His legendary is actually getting an adjustment. We're basically increasing the recharge rate of his dashes by 1 second. He's got 3 dashes in there, so it's kind of a total of 3 seconds extra. You'll have to wait to recharge all of your 3 dashes just to limit his mobility in that legendary a little bit.
That's exactly correct. Darkstalker is probably by far one of his most valuable legendaries. Is picked up in more so than many others.
Yes.
On a character that already has arguably some of the best mobility in the game.
Yeah.
3D space navigation, 3 dashes, and then you can levitate and hover and attack people from avenues that they don't expect it from.
Right.
All with the DPS of Androxus's revolver.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's a very strong character. He's a very fun character.
Right.
But we're trying to tone down mobility a little bit.
Awesome. So that also is going to come in hand with a reduction to the card Power of Abyss, which is a mainstay card for Androxus if you are familiar with him or play him very often, been in the scene for a while, reducing the cooldown of the card from 25, 50, 75, 100% to 20, 40, 60, 80%.
That's correct. Yep. So what essentially this means is that with certain ranks of the card now, you're gonna have to wait ever so slightly longer after you hit that shot on your reversal and trigger that CDR. You're gonna be vulnerable for a slightly longer portion. He's extremely safe, crazy DPS, crazy mobility. Crazy defensive ability that also has kind of a offensive flair.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people just get gibbed by reversals after a ruckus just dumps into it. So, yes, very strong character. Trying to limit that mobility down a tad.
He is the Godslayer. I mean, you make a character called the Godslayer.
He's got to slay gods.
I mean, he can't be like not slaying gods. I don't know what what else he would be doing here.
Yep.
Moving on to Drogos. He is the dragon in the sky, kind of the counterpart. Actually, really a very good person to be hunted by Androxus, who just received a little bit of a tune-up here.
That's right.
Drogos also getting a little bit of a tune-up. A Fusillade. Here we're seeing a reduction in this legendary, which has been a mainstay for a long time, ever since legendaries came out. A lot of different variety for his. But for this one, reducing the direct shot bonus from 50% to 35%.
That is
just
correct.
Figured it was actually a little bit incomparable to some of the other damage legendaries and doing a lot more damage.
It was definitely an outlier.
Yeah.
As far as bonus damage is concerned, like we usually kind of hover in the range of like 20, 30%. Yeah. Drogos had 50% on a weapon that already hit hard.
Yeah.
And that's important. Our characters, our damage characters, they need to hit hard.
Yeah.
But this was just kind of like just too much on also a character that also has very good other options for legendaries.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of bringing it back down a little.
Awesome. So that's going to be an adjustment. He's also seeing a bit of a change to his mobility as well. Drogos really kind of known for always being able to be in the sky in somewhere or another with his booster and with his thrust.
Yes.
The booster seeing a reduced recharge rate of 17%.
17%, yes.
Which means, essentially is saying that it's not going to recharge to full as fast. Basically 17% less.
Correct. Your gameplay is going to be a little less spammy.
Yeah.
You're not going to be bunny hopping as much. The character by far, haven't touched thrust, like super iconic, important. But the amount of time you're going to be staying airborne and raining down these now only plus 30% damage Fusillade missiles on people is going to be about 70% less.
Okay.
So, yep.
And 17 is the number we're saying, everybody, not 70. 17, I know
1-7.
I made it seem like that. Nice. Okay, so that is Drogos for today. Now, moving on, we do have... Come on now. Here it is. Okay. Inara.
Oh, yes, the Stone Maiden.
The Stone Maiden. Now, she has made a big comeback with a lot of changes that happened.
Yeah.
We are looking at that, and you guys have taken a look from just collecting all of the data, and going to be adjusting Mother's Grace slightly. Mother's Grace now no longer grants debuff immunity. It now grants CC immunity.
Yes.
And so it is CC immune and not debuff immune. She kind of just chose one, and that's the one that she has now.
That is true. So
cool.
The changes to Inara do need some context. So previous to 50, OB50, excuse me, she wasn't really in a competitive spot with a lot of our other front lines for various reasons. Some being that she doesn't really affect the battlefield in the same way as Makoa. She's not moving people around it. She's not putting up a shield as often as Fernando. Her wall is more of just like a, hey, this might protect
here's a wall.
me. And this, here's a wall.
Here's a wall for you.
And then she just generally dies slower with her right click. So she needs to be the character that is just like this very... She's not affecting people really outside of her range.
Right.
So within this space that she's occupying in, she needs to be tough. She's literally made of stone.
Garrett, she's a rock.
Yeah.
Okay, you just don't move like pillars and rocks and stuff like that.
And we made her the rock.
Yeah.
We made her the rock in OB50. But the problem is the way we did it was by giving it debuff immunity.
Right.
Which to most of our player bases and even some internally is a little unclear.
Right.
It's not so clear what a debuff is in our game. Sure, Cauterize is a debuff. RCCs technically count as debuffs. Some dots count as debuffs on like Fernando's Flamethrower or Barrack's Flame Turret. And that wasn't apparent.
Right.
So this move is to make things very clear. We still want to keep her in the same ballpark of strength by far. But the thing we didn't talk about was, yes, the Legendary now also grants CC immunity.
Yes.
But we are removing the debuff immunity off the Legendary. But what the main goal of that was to counter Cauterize. She needs to be the tank that doesn't have or isn't affected as much by Cauterize. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a bonus healing on the base ability.
So Earthen Guard.
Earthen Guard is receiving a 60% bonus to self-healing during the duration of Earthen Guard.
So this affects her through her healing through her cards?
Yes,
This
absolutely.
affects her through being healed by a healer. It's essentially like a Rejuvenate, right?
Yes, just at a higher magnitude.
Okay.
The nice thing about this change is it no longer negates Cauterize entirely, because Cauterize still detracts from the amount you're healed. It's just it counteracts it in a sense that it's the percentages add up basically like it is. So Cauterize is 90%, right?
Right.
So if she receives 60% more, then Cauterize is reducing her healing still by 30%.
Right.
It's a difference. It behaves just like you would expect, but now Yeah,
Got
it is. She's going to be hopefully in the same ballpark of strength.
The other change that's happening here is in terms of this kind of quality of life for Inara and getting her character more centered around what she's supposed to do.
Yep.
She's a tank, and you guys don't intend her to be moving around and chasing people down, which she was often doing with her stone spear. So with these changes, being more immovable with the CC immunity, she's actually now going to get a 40% movement speed slow to her basic attack of her stone spear while she's firing.
Yes, the self-slow on in-hand fire is something very common. It happens with a lot of our other front lines. Fernando does it, Torvald has it, and maybe some other characters will have it in the near future.
Great.
But as a frontline character, it's a very good balancing mechanic. So it allows her to have a powerful weapon and not feel too lame,
Sure.
but also occupy that space and be good in it.
Great. So that's Inara. Guys, check her out in OB51. Grok, a very quick change. He's actually getting a price reduction. We've had this happen beforehand where Ruckus actually received this. Now Grok's getting the same treatment from 200 crystals and 5,000 gold to 150 crystals to 4,000 gold. So if you want to play Grok, get him. He's a little cheaper. Very fun.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Kinessa. Kinessa actually has her legendary steady aim being adjusted here. This is not a big adjustment, but it is going to increase the time interval between empowered shots from 5 seconds to 7 seconds, just to give her a little bit more wiggle room on basically taking her time to keep her bonus damage up and still hit that next shot.
Yeah, good quality life adjustment. We know as Kinessa, you are potentially dodging flanks. There's a shield in your way. There's front lines on the point. So this is just going to be kind of it's a nice bonus. You're going to have a chance at getting that same secondary bonus damage for a little bit longer.
Right.
Yep.
So that's for Kinessa. That's her legendary. Maybe play steady aim. I know Eagle Eye's been very popular lately.
Try it out.
Ruckus, the big goblin and mech. He's the star of the new channel trailer for Paladins. Very exciting stuff. Hexafire. This is an interesting one that I didn't really know. Very simple change, but Hexafire miniguns now act as an in-hand weapon, which essentially means that they apply Cauterize and Wrecker. That's essentially what it is.
Or Bulldozer.
Or Bulldozer. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
That's right. You really are mad at Inara in a game. You could do it.
Oh, man, yeah. If you
really hate that wall, you could do it.
Basically, it was just it's an oddity.
Cool.
Really. And we're just kind of tidying it up.
Nice. All right. So moving on, we're getting through these, man. Saris. This is a big one. The ultimate change allowed her to get a lot of, I think, efficacy off of that ultimate whenever she used it, and then use it again very quickly off of the follow-up damage. So what's happening is she's seeing a reduction in the charge rate from dealing damage by 15%.
That's correct. Yep.
So just kind of walk me through what that means. How is that? Where are you taking the damage off of? Or the charge rate off of, excuse me.
Yeah, no damage is moving.
No damage is moving.
All it's meaning is that I get an increment of ult energy whenever I, as a character, deal damage or heal if I'm a support character.
Right.
For Saris, we are touching the value she gets from dealing damage. We really like the fact that her ult is now a lot more reliable, confirmable. Ult should be powerful and feel good on use. But now that it is so confirmable, right? Because you just stack 4 people in front of you, 5 people in front of you, and then you're like, bah, 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 as your orbs go through them all, and you just get that ult charge back really quickly. And I was like, okay, that's kind of like outside of the effectiveness of the intended character.
Sure.
So now we're just going to bring it down a tad.
Okay, 15% less ult charge off the damage that you're dealing. As Saris should be a very good change there. Willow. This is a big one. We're seeing a few big changes to Willow. I'm going to read them all out, and you can kind of give me the general reasoning behind why these are happening.
Let's do it.
Okay? Willow. She's seeing a general increase in her health from 2,000 to 2,200. Now, she's also seeing a few adjustments in 2 of her legendaries. The first legendary, Blast Flower, is seeing an increase in the bonus damage per hit from 50 to 100. And she's also seeing a decrease in the amount of times it stacks, going from 5 to 3, meaning that she can now get a maximum of 800 bonus damage on her weapon shot, and she will do it after her 3rd successive shot rather than having to get to 750 and doing it after a 5th successive shot.
That is correct.
Faster damage, more damage, right?
Yep.
Scorn is also with the Seedling legendary that empowers your seedlings to do 350 extra damage. We're seeing a reduced fuse time by 25%, meaning that if you choose that legendary, your seedlings will be stronger and they will actually detonate faster. Being hopefully more confirmable, and since you're basing your playstyle around it.
Yes.
Fae Flight, her ultimate. That is her not her legendary, her ultimate. When she goes into her flight, she will no longer consume ammo with her weapon shots.
Yes.
So now, why are we making these changes to Willow?
So, her in-hand ability is fairly low, actually, in comparison to many of our other similar damage classes. It's a very fast projectile. It's a very large AoE for an in-hand, easy to confirm. But in terms of DPS, it's lower. Granted, with our legendary system, you have opportunity cost. So it's like if I want to deal more damage with my in-hand, I pick Blast Flower, right?
Right.
Now we just want to up that efficacy of her in-hand more with that change.
Great.
The health change also is I felt just kind of obvious, right? Because if you look at very similar characters, Bomb King, Drogos, that are these AoE blaster type characters that Willow is sufficient to, she was at 2K.
Yeah.
With lower DPS in hands and arguably lower mobility too.
Right.
So this is kind of putting her back in that field. The fuse time again is if you compare it to say Drogos, right? Seedling has the potential to deal a lot of instant damage. There's also 2 layers of tells to it, a sound tell, and isn't really as easy to confirm as, say, a Fire Spit. Or a Masterful Fire Spit that I can then do again. So this is kind of making sure that ability is very powerful in its own regard. Great. And finally, the Fae Flight one, this is more of a quality of life thing. This isn't the hugest balance consideration, but it just feels kind of awkward to like hit your ultimate that you've been grinding for this whole time, go up, and then be like,
start reloading.
Like, this is my moment, and then be like, oh, let me just. Okay, now I can go, guys.
I hear you.
Yep.
So Willow getting a lot of great quality of life adjustments and a lot of other champions. Go for the patch notes on forums.paladins.com to read all of those in detail. But right now, we've got something that I know you all have been waiting for. We've gotten through the nitty-gritty of what's coming out in skins, balance, and bugs, and all that. But you're here because a new face is going to be entering into the realm. So without further ado, let's take a look at the new front line to change Paladins' scene maybe forever, Ashe, the War Machine.
My point.
Damn.
My point. Oh my God, my goodness gracious.
Bad. She's so bad, she's good.
Yo. This is, I mean, I don't know what to say, guys. That was one of the coolest, I think the coolest intro scene we've ever done.
I mean, they're all awesome. It's hard. We just keep.
It gets better and better.
Yep.
Better and better is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So this is Anara, guys. Before we get into this, I just want to get comments from everybody, really about this champion who's in her. It's a front line. Thomas, that design looked incredibly. I got to say. Badass. I'm sorry, I had to say it, man. She just looks so cool.
Ask if I could say badass online.
Well, I say badass.
Okay.
I say badass.
Badass.
So you kind of get it there. We're not saying anything. What did it take to kind of come up with this design? What's the process behind actually building the concept for Ashe?
Right. So we went through our normal process as far as pillars and mood board and going through that. From the very early on, we knew we wanted to make a bad Ashe, female knight. And so as far as for that role, and then it's just working with concept with the 3D artist across all the disciplines. One of the big things with her, as you kind of saw in there, is that she has this basically flak cannon that she's carrying around and firing, and so it's a very physical weapon that feels really good, but was pretty complex. So this one had a lot of challenges, both on the character art standpoint, but especially with the weapons team and working with VFX and with animation, where you can get her carrying this giant weapon that it feels really good going through, and then with her abilities.
Oh yeah, it feels brutal. She is the personification. If you caught her title, it is the War Machine, and she embodies it to 100%.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different than what we've done for some of our other ones. I mean, she's a knight-like character, but she's pretty much in her backstory and stuff is a siege machine. She's a one-person unit, right? She basically will anchor the army of the magistrate and go for take out a castle, take out an encampment, and kind of as you saw in her reveal trailer there, she can single-handedly anchor a point for a team.
And it looks like she wants to just You can't mess with Lex like that, okay? I know you tried it, but I don't get played that easily, y'all. But check it out, Ash. This has got to be the first. Yeah, I love it. Alyssa, just what do you think about Ash?
I think
you like the vibe.
I think she's badass, just like you said. I love it. I think we don't have any other character that has this kind of feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that pulls this role, especially Garrett. Now, talking from the design perspective and just a character, the play. What is Ash meant to do? Thomas meant she's a siege machine for the magistrate, but what is she in terms of my team?
She's one of our most brutal and dynamic front lines that we have to date. We can kind of start off with her kit and her abilities.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about her weapon.
So, as you can see, there is this hulking flat cannon, burst cannon device on screen. We can go ahead and fire some rounds. It shoots this projectile into space that detonates at medium range in a very large kind of flak burst of AoE. About tank level DPS, as you would expect. Great, easy to confirm damage, fairly consistent. 8 or 9 rounds in the clip, but definitely powerful feeling. That reload is goom, goom. It's great. I love it.
The sound effects are amazing on this, by the way. Shout out to, our whole crew and the sound effects.
Because I can't hear them. Can stream hear these right now?
You can't hear these right now.
Oh,
we don't have them turned on. Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So this is her left mouse button, and to me, this looks like it's an AoE tank. This is something that we haven't really seen. Fernando, he does provide AoE.
Kind of Fernando. Yep.
But this is totally different. This is like hitting
truly
a clump
AoE. That's right.
Of people, and so she's really ready to take on people in numbers.
Oh yeah, as
1v5.
The team clusters on the point.
Oh yeah.
Like this cannon will hit them all.
So talk to me about her right mouse button, because this one's exciting, and I want to listen to this too when we start this one.
Let's rev it up. Yep, that's right. So this is kinetic burst. What you're gonna do is you're going to prime your next flak shell to then get super heated and explode right as it comes out of the barrel. As that piston hits it, it's gonna do a frontal cone attack that's gonna hit 4 damage and apply a large knockback. As you can see, as you're just displacing this poor Lex across Stone Keep. But yeah, so this is AoE. You can hit a single target, you can hit a whole team, but you mess people up, you move them around and displace people on the battlefield. And this is one of the biggest tools to do that.
And this is a tool that is activated at your choice. It's just a simple right click, and then all of a sudden, you could have that type of game-changing play. Now, the truth is, as far as actual efficacy in the actual battle, this can be very valuable for pushing people off of overtime payload contests, pushing them away from the objective right when you're trying to just capture it, give yourself a team an extra second. And so she seems to be having a lot of displacement here, a different kind than Makoa, but still very, very effective.
That's right. She's more in your face. Makoa is more like, hey, come to me. And she's like, I'm bringing the fight to you. So that's a great segue into her. Actually, we'll do her Q first.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yep. So she's a tank. Hallmark of our tanks is shielding.
That's right.
So her shield is more of a kind of advancing riot shield, and I believe actually the cameraman has the legendary applied.
He does.
So normally it moves a little bit faster. Yes. Normally it moves a little bit faster than that. However, it is a shield that you deploy on the ground and walks forward. She's not so much about kind of like sitting still in an area, right? She's more about advancing. She's taking the fight to the bat. She's advancing on that point. She's advancing with the payload. And her shield embodies that as well.
Like a siege weapon would do. It's really like taking down a castle, breaking through the front lines.
Yeah, as we kind of mentioned with her theme, it's like, she kind of anchors that kind of unit and anchors the army and stuff, and her shield does the same. So if you look at the overall size here and think about it in terms of Fernando's shield, this is much wider. It's got like kind of wings kind of off to the side, and so not only, does she have that power for displacement with the number of her abilities, but this shield allows her to kind of not only march in, but actually bring her team in with her.
That's fantastic. And if you are able to see this at some point, I'd love to show the differing speeds between. Oh, this is the normal speed.
This is the normal speed. Yep.
So that's actually kind of fast. So what's cool about this is that if you really feel like you're going to need to break in quickly to a lot of scenarios, or maybe prioritizing some of the other legendaries, which are really cool. We'll get into that later. Or if you feel like, hey, I need to be the only front line for my team. I need to stay on the point. I want my shield right next to me all the time.
That's right. This is the legendary.
This is the legendary for you. It also gives it some extra health too, which we'll talk about in a second. But speaking of health, you're not going to have any if this girl shows up in your face. And one of the best ways she can do it, Garrett, seems like her F does something that we saw in the beginning.
Let's talk about Shoulder Bash, Evan.
Let's talk about it.
Shoulder Bash is one of the coolest moves we have yet. Super powerful, super impactful. and it's extremely bad Ash. If we can, there we go. There's the Lex. So, boom! Oh god, that impact is so heavy. And that actually was a pretty close range one. If we could show one truly displaying the range of the ability as well.
Yeah.
It's got a big old wind up on it, but you kind of hunker down, kick to 3P, and then hurtle forward as she just charges into the fray. Boom.
Now, what I want to show, one of the really amazing things about this as well is if we could set that Lex up as well, and if you charge a kinetic burst, and basically once you knock that Lex up, shoot him
with
juggle. Your weapon.
You want to see the juggle. You just
you
ask
might
for
be
the
able
juggle,
to see
Evan.
something cool.
Yes.
Oh, he missed. But trust me, it is cool. It is cool. And so she basically has 2 knock-up abilities which can combo off of each other. You can juggle them in the air with this and really like fully displace a target way farther than they would have ever expected in this scenario. All right, time is a little off. You got to check me out. It's all right. So that's really cool, and also just from an escape ability, this gives her so much range. Other than we talk about Makoa, Fernando, they've got dashes. Barrick, he's even got a dash, but this is probably the farthest tank dash I think in the game.
Yes, and the nature is such that you root yourself at the start of it. So if you're extremely brave, you can use it as an escape. You are saying basically, I'm immobile for this entire windup and unprotected. Or with a legendary choice, you can say, I'm going to have a high amount of damage reduction and also be CC immune.
Don't you spoil my legendaries, Garrett.
I just spoiled it.
Don't you spoil my legendaries. We're not there yet.
All right.
All right, let's talk about the ultimate. Everyone wants to see it. This ultimate is pretty good.
Oh, can we do it, cameraman, from the top balcony onto the point to start? Because I think that would be perfect.
That is great as well, and it has a different effect depending on what legendary you have.
That it does.
So, which effect do you want to see first?
Let's just do the base.
Okay.
Let's go.
That would be.
So her ultimate is called Assert Dominance. She is a frontline character that needs to do just that.
Let's fight.
Boom. Okay, so Assert Dominance is a very cinematic move. There we go. There we go. Get that juggle.
There it is.
She rips the flag off her back, leaps into the air, and then very powerfully plants it in the ground. When she hits the ground, she does damage and AoE around her, knocks up any enemies in the field for a small bit, and then while next to that flag, she takes no damage. She is damage immune to that flag.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying. You said not a lot of damage?
I believe I said no damage.
Wait, so the numbers, Thomas is holding a 0 in my face. You mean no damage for like
none?
Couple seconds? Like
8 seconds.
8 seconds?
8 whole
seconds. So 4 times a couple.
Yes.
So 8 seconds, she's going to jump down here, and no one will be able to damage her, and she can do everything and damage everyone else.
That's correct.
Okay.
The caveat is that, unlike many of our other ults, she does not have CC immunity here. So, the counterplay is such that she can be displaced out of her ring. If you have a Makoa, if you have another Ashe that can knock back, if you have a Cassie with a disengage. She's very powerful in that zone of her flag, but definitely has the opportunities for counterplay.
And that is actually one of the interesting things. You talk about other frontliners as well. Makoa, Torvald, to name a few. 2 people with basic, very, big parts of their kit can displace her from this
That is
ring.
correct. Yep.
And also, I mean, to remember, she doesn't get a damage boost, but her legendaries could give some to her allies. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We actually seem like we might be close to talking about that right now. Let's just talk about it. If we could see some of the legendaries, that would be great. The first one that you had mentioned, actually the first one here, Assert Dominance. Rally here allows Ashe to stun her enemies when she lands.
That's right. And what you don't see is that after stunning any enemies affected, you are also giving your team within 100 feet of you a 20% damage increase for 3 seconds.
So how far is do you have an idea of like what's 100 feet? Is it the width of her flag area?
No, it's a lot longer.
It's a lot farther. So a lot of your teammates.
Yeah. So basically anyone, the idea is that anyone involved in the team fight. This is very much a team-oriented thing. It allows you to very deftly secure your flag area and stun anyone in it, while also potentially swaying a team fight with this legendary pick.
Beautiful. So this could be very influential. It is for a legendary, and we've seen those kind of be hit or miss in the esports for Paladins. But this one's pretty strong. Got a great amplification to damage, and also that 2-second stun allows you to guarantee 2 extra hit shots, which is essentially 800 more damage you can add.
Or allow follow-up from your teammates.
Or follow-up. Or
it takes an ult that isn't like a teamfight follow-up ult,
yeah,
and then turns it into one.
Yeah. So this is a great choice. And your shield with this ult will actually still move very fast. So this is the option that won't change the shield.
Correct.
The other one that won't change the shield is the dash one, the shield bash one.
That's right.
Let's talk about this legendary, because you mentioned it before. This is kind of her get out of jail free card.
Yeah, or just get into jail.
Or get into
really
jail.
Forcefully card. Yep. So Battering Ram is the name of this legendary. And what it does, we are crashing.
Okay, that's fine. You can explain it to me here.
Yeah, so what happens is that
we're on deaf, people.
When she hits that ability, she immediately gets 90% damage reduction.
Wow.
And she's no longer really that vulnerable in that rooted state.
Yeah.
On top of it, because it is a legendary and it needs to be powerful, she also gets CC immunity. So it is effectively saying I'm taking a whole lot less damage and I can't be budged. I am a heavy juggernaut, armor-wearing, spike-studded thing, and you can't move me. So yeah.
So essentially, you basically will just have to accept the fact that she's going to get her dash off. Almost.
Yes.
In most scenarios, she just guarantees yourself a dash somewhere. So if you use it correctly, you can really get out of the fight, heal up, take cover, and then help join your team if you have, like, if she's a secondary tank and maybe not playing the solo role.
Yep.
Now, if she's a solo tank, she's got a legendary for that. And that is what we saw earlier.
That's right.
Makes the shield move slower.
That's
an
right.
extra 3k health to it as well.
So yeah, the inherent nature of this character is such as her abilities are very impactful, very powerful, and the moving shield is somewhat arguably less of a powerful defensive tool than a stationary shield.
Yes.
So opportunity cost again with legendaries, you can make it a much more defensible tool at the cost of not selecting the other legendaries.
Right.
Then it becomes a very essentially it's immobile.
Yeah.
And then it also increases the health, and it is on a relatively lower than other shields cooldown as well.
Yeah.
So definitely powerful options. She's a lot of fun.
Oh, she is.
Yep.
And she's we've been saying it all over. Bad Ash is kind of the theme with her. She looks awesome.
Yep.
She looks awesome. And for me, I've actually been able to experience it. We talked a little bit about the legendaries, and I think we've given an idea. But when you have the juggle legendary, there's actually a combination you could pull off. That is something that I'll be showing off a little bit later today.
Is it the 3-step?
It's the 3-step.
Okay, yeah.
And this is how I've done it. I don't know how you did it, but basically you can charge your kinetic burst. You can dash into someone, and when you dash into them as they're falling backwards, you could jump into your ultimate.
Yes.
And then you land on them, you knock them up, and then you shoot your charged burst that knocks them up even farther, and then you shoot them twice before they fall into the ground. Essentially, that is 2,200 and 2,250 in terms of damage. So 2,250 damage, which means that as you hit that first shot before they're falling, you'll kill a Sky or an Eevee, and the second shot, you'll kill, Vanessa.
If you guys can pull that off, I want to see it because it'll be awesome.
It's absolutely so cool. I felt like is this a fighting game or is this Paladins?
Right, you get that sense, right?
I mean, I'm pulling off combos. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
So it was really, really cool. And, for me, I want to hear a little bit more. You talked about the personality, right, Thomas?
Yeah. She's full of it.
I mean, is this something that is in her voice pack even, the way that she...
The battle is about to begin.
Oh, is that Pumpkin?
He just had to get his word in there.
This personality seems pretty inherent in everything in her art. Is that in her voice pack and emotes as well?
Yeah, it carries all the way through. It's one of the things I think that the team's been doing really well, and that we've kind of tried to push into the process is making sure that the people involved in making her and with all of our champions are kind of involved. They're talking. We're going through stuff. The ideas kind of generate other ideas, and we kind of inspire each other. So you kind of see that same core of who she is as a character. Not only in her visuals, not only in her emotes, which I'm super excited to get to as well. But definitely with her voice, with everything. I mean, she's a character. She's a good one.
Well, let's take a listen to her voice pack here and see a little bit of the personality of Ash.
Quiet now.
Okay.
Hey. Quiet now.
Okay.
Nice job. You're welcome in my vanguard any day. I don't give a damn about my reputation. Unfreaking believable. Woohoo! Nice set of teeth you have there. Have fun picking them up off the floor. I'll shove my boot so far up you, when I pull it out, they'll crown me queen.
Oh my God.
Nice set of teeth you have there.
You know, let's
Have fun picking them up off the floor. Quiet now.
If we can hear that that's too bad and the curses.
That'll teach ya. Oh, frag that. Oh, frag that.
Oh man.
No more jokes. Are we going to fight or not?
I love it. It's raspy. It's like
She's tough, man.
it's tough, right? It's
Yeah.
like every movie character I've ever seen of a woman portraying this type of character on battle. It's like it feels like you brought it all together into this really incredible
Goodbye.
I don't know, just experience. Like I love
She's no
playing
nonsense.
Ash.
She's all about taking
She's
the
so
fight
cool.
to you. Like she doesn't really care. She's there to get her job done. She didn't win that fight.
Yeah, she's a little different from like a certain other knight in our game who's a
Yeah,
little bit
maybe a
more
little.
about like parade grounds and maybe taking his time and like, you know, how he presents himself.
He enjoys the Spanish sunset, you know.
She enjoys the fight. She wants to be in it. She wants to be in the middle of battle. She wants to win the battle. She wants to be engaged. She wants to get dirty. She wants to, you know, like I said, she wants to take out the other team.
Well, this has been really exciting for all of us to check out. And there was a little what do we call this? Not an egg. Easter egg in there in that showcase.
A little bit.
Egg.
An egg. There's a little egg in there. It's usually an Easter egg that you guys, if you're paying attention to, could see. It was something we call a Scarlet Charger.
There is a Scarlet Charger.
What is that?
Could that be a mount?
Ooh.
Look at that horse. That's a good horse.
So talk to me. I mean, what is this a Ash specific mount? What is this?
No,
No.
so this is I mean, it's a war horse. It does definitely match her and kind of fits her personality and stuff. But this is actually a brand new thing for us. So we've done some mounts in the past and tied to like the Founders Pack and different giveaways and events and stuff. But this is actually the first mount that you can just go buy. So it's our first direct mount. It's fantasy. It plays into the battle. It's a beautiful steed.
This is something I would actually ride into battle. You know, I feel comfortable on this. The unicorn, not so much. I feel like there's just not enough
I
armor.
could see you on a unicorn.
You know, I could see me on a unicorn too,
Yeah.
just and you know, hanging out with Fernando, not with Ash. With Ash, I think
Understood.
I need to be a little
You
bit more
need the-
prepared. Yeah,
You need the Scarlet Charger.
I need the Scarlet Charger in here. So this is. Do we have a price on this yet for people who want to get it? It's direct.
400.
400 crystals, so direct
right.
to purchase. You guys can go ahead and grab this the second OB51 goes live. Now, as we've seen all the content here, I know you guys are excited about when can we play, what can we do, what community questions do you have for us today? I'm not going to hold you any longer. Alyssa, it's your turn. Take us through the community questions
Yes,
for this patch.
I've got a bunch today, so let's jump right into it. The first question by Cryptic Monk is, what are your feelings on Cauterize and Wrecker in relation to their current place in the meta?
Sure. So this is a big question.
Sure is.
It's something we talk about often, all the time. So our item store has some items that are more polarizing than others. These two are great examples of it. We always want to make sure that the in-game choices in our game, such as purchasing items, have impact and are strong. And it's come up. We've talked at length about like, is it too strong, or am I being forced into this pick? It's a real interesting nuance in that all the characters currently, based on their shields, based on their heal amounts, it all works.
Yeah.
So while Wrecker is exceptionally powerful, while Cauterize is exceptionally powerful, it plays into the game sphere in such a way that the games have meaning still.
Yeah.
It's not like they're really out of bounds.
No.
I completely agree that they are very strong. And the larger question is that needed? I prefer games that have choices that mean things. And if you tone things down, you say, oh, okay, well, you reduce Wrecker, you reduce Cauterize by, say, 30% each, and then you reduce all the shields and healing in the game by equal by 30%, then, like, that works out, right? That pans out. Not so much. It doesn't really do that. You generally tend to homogenize things, and then you'll have more of, like, kind of, if your stat line is, like, here, or this is a line that represents your gameplay experience, versus more ups and downs in your card. And we are definitely looking at it in the future, and you might see some changes in the future as well.
Yeah.
But fairly happy where it is now, but that can't say it will not improve.
And I think the game, personally, just from my side, I think the game plays really well with Cauterize and Wrecker where they sit now as outliers in items. I think they're incredibly important. And, you know, we find sometimes when you get into games where people don't prioritize those items, it can be difficult because certain champions, you know, such as Torvald, is really,
He's a
really
great
hard
example.
to deal with.
Yep.
He's very polarizing. If you have Wrecker, he's very easy. But if you don't have Wrecker, he's incredibly powerful. So I think it's looking at those mechanics and also sometimes saying, how do we allow people to not only have the opportunity to pick Cauterizing Wrecker and make an impact, but pick other items and make an impact in that own way that can reasonably be, I think, comparable to Cauterizing Wrecker. That's oftentimes what a lot of people in my community are looking at.
Yep.
So very interesting stuff. I think, obviously, on point for everybody in the balance discussions.
Yep. Community. Oh.
All
yes.
right. So Aju172 asks, since there will be no Colossal Chest in the future, can we expect to buy those items which were exclusive to the Colossal Chest?
So, as you guys saw, we did take away the Colossal Chest. But also, as you guys saw,
Why?
we've got you guys some, I think, much better options in terms of content acquisition. So,
I didn't get Plushie Makoa, man.
you will. There is. It is. Those items were exclusive to the Colossal Chest only, and the Colossal Chest is no longer around. But there's definitely a chance that you will see them again in those chests. So,
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. I feel better.
Next
What's next?
question. Count Meowington. I love that name.
Count Meowington.
Said that before. Are there any plans for making Grok's ult better?
Yes,
That's-
I mentioned it with Saris right earlier when we talked about her balance change. It's like we want ults to feel powerful, we want them to feel impactful, and we'll make adjustments as such. We definitely see Grox as one that could get a little. It's kind of the fact that he's juggling so many things. It's like I'm CC immune and I'm healing allies, but I'm also slowing enemies and I'm also dealing damage.
And I'm also not getting healed by my own ultimate.
Yeah, there's lots of issues with it, and we will improve it.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that was it for the community questions.
Yes.
All right. So we do have a note that was based on some feedback that we got from the last patch. We released the Bomb King announcer
Oh,
pack.
that's right. Yep.
Yes, we released the
Yes.
Bomb King announcer pack. We got some feedback from the community that didn't really convey his personality as well as it should have, and we definitely agreed. So we will be changing the Bomb King announcer pack. It was kind of edited in the mastering process, so it turned out a little bit different. It will not be updated in PTS, but you can expect it to be updated in live. So.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and let's see. The last thing, the Colossal Chest and the Emporium Chest, as we said, will be going away with the release of 51. So if you want to get anything from the Colossal Chest or the Emporium Chest in its current state, we will have, the Champion Skin Chest and the Weapons Chest, but those will be retired in 51. So you can go ahead and get those before the patch releases. But don't worry, because we also have a Crystal Storm weekend going on right now. It just started today. It goes through Sunday. You have the chance to get 90 crystals every day for your first 3 daily wins, which is super exciting. It's 270 crystals over the entire weekend. So
man.
be sure to jump in and get your 3 daily wins, get some crystals, maybe get those chests before they retire.
I didn't need to do anything this weekend anyway.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Alyssa, you're a support main, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can use that Grok ult,
Yep.
keep me healed up, and we can make it work. We can make it work. I'm down for some crystals. I need some.
Yes, you do.
I do,
Yep.
guys. There's a lot of great stuff coming in. I know you all want your crystals too. More importantly, you probably want to know, when is PTS live? We're going to go ahead and get my hands on Ash on all these new skins. Check them out. Make some content for my channels or show them off on stream. Do you guys have an answer?
Today.
Yeah.
Today.
Fridays. Good day.
You are my favorite people. I love it. Thank you so much for that. So make sure to check on forums.paladins.com and download the PTS if you don't have that already, so you can get into the action sooner. I'll be trying to cover some of that if I can. Like we said, we don't have much we're doing this weekend. So weekend, Crystal Storm, PTS, make sure you check it out. That's going to be it for OB51 from all of us here at High Res. Remember, so many people work on this, and I just want to give a shout out to all the people at the company who are actually putting so much energy into not only the skins, but the VFX, from the sound effects, from the design aspects, before things are even created, to just thinking about them and coming up with a great idea, working on the code to make things work. You guys understand that these are people with lives, with families, and with a lot of passion, just like you have for this game, for this community. So thank you all from the bottom of our hearts here at Alpharetta and High Res Studios for doing what you do. That's why we're able to play this great game. As always, guys, thanks so much for joining us. That's OB51. See you on PTS soon. And as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming. And we'll see you all next time.